Today we'll be taking a look at the new MegaColony deck from the upcoming Clan Selection Volume 1. So we're featuring the new Grade 3, which is Venom Stinger. So during your turn, if your opponents have a card placed into the damage zone, during this turn this unit get plus 10k. Next, which is the main effect, when this unit attacks, you can counter plus 1, put a rear guard into soul. During this battle, when your opponents are damage check or trigger, instead of them activating the effect, you will get the effect instead. So if your opponent were to open a critical trigger, the power plus 10k and the critical will be to your side instead of opponent. If there's a heal trigger, you'll be activated as your heal trigger. Next, in addition, you can Soul Blast a Grade 3 from Soul. If you do so, choose up to 2 of your opponent's damage zone, put them into drop zone, and for each card placed in the drop zone by this effect, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So your opponent get a heal 2 and take 2 damage. So if let's say the 2 damage have let's say 2 critical, you get a 2 critical. Right, so that's Venom Stinger. Highly recommended to use it against let's say you have friends with very good trigger luck. This will be the arch enemy of that they'll be facing. Next, we have another Grade 3. Right, this is the only clan with double Grade 3 as a new unit. So first effect, when this card is in the drop zone and your Grade 3 and above Vanguard just attack after the battle, if a new card was placed into the opponent's damage zone during this turn, you can counter blast 1 to call this unit onto the rear guard circle. So with this effect, it's confirmed that your opponent have new cards in the damage zone. So you can call this from the drop for additional attack in the turn. When it enters the rear guard circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rear guard, stand it, and during this turn, it get power plus 10k. This unit get power plus 10k. Right, so restanding. So potential of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack in a turn. Next, we have the Gunning Colio as a substitute Grade 3, which works very well in this deck. We will explain in a while. Next, for the Grade 2s, we are playing the typical, which is the Mantis, which is a Grade 3 searcher. Lancer, where you get power plus 2k for each of your opponent rested rear guard, and the most important part is the second effect, when you can put one of your rear guard into soul, and during this turn opponent cannot intercept. So you can actually put a Grade 3 into soul to activate either of their effects. And Killer Leaf, basically is just to get additional power and to mill your opponent's deck and get to draw 1. Right, let's go for the Grade 1. We have the Grade 3 Searcher, which personally feel that it's not really a must play since we have a lot of Grade 3 Searcher in the deck. Most high class morph. So when this unit is in your deck or the soul, is treated as a Grade 3. Right, so as long as in the soul is a Grade 3, so it's very simple for us to activate Gunning Colio's effect or the Venom Stinger. Next, activate as a rear guard rest, and from your drop zone, return a normal unit back to the bottom of the deck. If you do so, counter charge 1, choose an opponent's rear guard. During this turn, it cannot intercept, and ability of card with the same name can activate once per turn. Right, definitely a very strong addition to MegaColony deck. Next, we have Stealth Millipede, which was a pretty OPR, which will be reprinted in this set. So this unit is in rest. Opponent's rear guard in the same column cannot stand. And when the boosted attack hits, this unit you can put this unit into soul to counter charge 1. Right. So other units that's in considerations are basically we have Create Freeze. So enter field, discard 1, draw 1. If you discard a Grade 3, you can put a Cradle on your opponent's unit, so you can actually just discard away this unit since it will be back. Right, so that's this works pretty well in the deck, and also the butterfly officer for counter charging. So for trigger, we are playing 9 crit. You can actually go for 10 crit if you want. Right, so that's the basic for this deck. Alright, we'll go as the second player into our grade 3 turn. So stand and draw. Right, so we'll write Venom Stinger. On right, we'll add 1 protect marker to hand. Right, so next, we'll call our units to the field. So millipede. Right, so this will be our field. So we're going to battle. So for 12k. Next, let's say open have 3 rested unit, so power plus 6k. Will depend on if the attack hits. If the attack hits, this will go into soul, and we get to counter charge 1. So let's go in the scenario where it gets hit, because your opponent do not want to have their unit paralyzed. Right, so next, Vanguard attack. So on attack, counter plus 1. We'll put this creature into soul. So your opponent get to heal 2. Right, we need to soul plus 1 first. So we'll soul plus away the same grade 3 that went to soul. So your opponent will heal 2 and take 2 damage. So in this case, let's say your opponent were to open a critical trigger. So we have put the critical here. 10k here. Right. Since our opponent have taken 2 damage, we get additional power plus 20k. Right. All this is before our trigger check. So twin drive. 1 and 2. Draw trigger. Draw 1. Additional 10k here. Right. So at the end of battle, your opponent Sentinel and that didn't hit. So counter plus 1. We call this creature onto the field. We enters the rearguard circle. Soul blast 1. Stand a unit. Power plus 10k. Right, so it depends if the attack hits. So this will be 22k. And 26 plus 9, 35. And I can choose to whether I'm going to put this into soul. I wish I can, so just put it into soul for the ammo of next turn, and opponent cannot intercept. Right, so that's for the first turn. Right, we will just carry on. So next opponent's turn. Right, we have a lot of ammo to Sentinel. Discard this. Right, and we can even Sentinel again. Right, we can choose not to pay the to write it. We can just call in a unit out, and let's say opponent have 4 rested unit, so this will be 8,000 and 8,000. So first attack, second attack, third attack, counter plus 1. Put this into soul. And soul plus a grade 3. can actually just soul blast away this if I want. Right, but in order for the multi attack to work, I'll blast off the grade 3. I'm gonna get the heal 2 and deal 2 damage. Let's say I have a draw trigger. So draw trigger. Twin drive. Critical plus 10. Counter plus 1. Put it under the field. So plus 1. Freeze 10. Power plus 10k. Right. So that's the basic playstyle for the new Venom Stinger.